Srini, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you for having me here today.
Why don't you just go ahead and get going? We've got some folks already watching, and they want to learn about Copilot.
Fantastic. Um, Thanks everyone for joining today's session on GitHub Copilot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize number of slides. Usually I show to educate you with any topic that I speak. However, what I'm going to do is I will do a lot more demos. That way it's meaningful to you and you see the GitHub Copilot in action, and you also learn how intuitive it is to use and be productive. So let's straight away join and see what it can do for us. So you all know about Copilot. Copilot is nothing but your AI pair programmer. You know, what it means is a pair programmer powered by AI. So uh, we always love to go and approach senior developers or engineers or architects for help when we are starting on a new project or new technology or new development. And, uh, you know, this tool is going to actually meet most of those needs. Uh, so let's see how it helps us out. So first thing is GitHub Copilot. Uh, the way it works is you use GitHub Copilot in IDE. A lot of people get confused that, hey, how can I use GitHub Copilot with or without GitHub repos or GitHub enterprise license? You can use that as long as you have an IDE like GitHub Visual Studio Code or Java, uh, any of those things, right? So here is what happens. You enter the prompt in your IDE workspace, and we are going to uh, take that prompt and call GitHub proxy service, and then call the OpenAI large language models, and produce a response and get back to you. What exactly happens when we call GitHub Copilot proxy is we authenticate you. We also look at the sentiment analysis, like to clean up any abusive language or anything that somebody might have entered, and also look for any sensitive informations like connection strings or passwords and all those things. So this proxy service will clean up all those things and then call the LLM and get the response. And then once that is available, we also do some additional sentiment analysis to make sure that the response is valid. And we also do duplicate detection and also apply any policies that you may have, and then provide the suggestions to the IDE where you see the output. So this is how it works. It's very simple. Most of the time, this is what you might already be doing when you use open source tools or even ChatGPT. But here we do a lot of groundwork to make sure that you securely use large language models for your benefit. So moving ahead, what you can do with GitHub Copilot in Visual Studio IDE. First of all, it is an interactive experience. Uh, you should be able to see the overview with the demos that I'm going to show you in a minute. And you'll also see how we ask the GitHub Copilot to explain the code, generate unit tests, or fix a bug, and even, ask some of the generic software development questions. So it's all there. Um, and you'll be thrilled how quickly you can come up to speed and learn about this new option for you to become productive. So when I say productive, what we have learned is, 96% of the developers who started using GitHub Copilot, they think that, they were able to do coding a little faster, and also 75% of them, they're more fulfilled with their job. So this is awesome numbers, right? Hey, when you are in the flow, when you're doing a complex task, imagine uh, getting a additional help without really bothering anybody else. So again, a lot of productivity just by using GitHub Copilot within your IDE. So let's see the demo. What is it? How do you install GitHub Copilot in your Visual Studio Code? So all you need to do is go to the Extensions tab in Visual Studio Code and type Copilot. Once you do that, you see a couple of options there, GitHub Copilot and GitHub Copilot Chat. Uh, enable both of them, okay? This is assuming that you're already logged in and you also have allocated a license to use GitHub Copilot. Um, so that's it, very, very simple. If you are a Visual Studio user, you certainly know how to do this. Um, once that is done, so let's see what else you can do. In this case, I'm going to create an index.js file, and the very first option is using, inline prompting or the chat option on the left side, or through a ghost text. There are multiple ways of interacting with GitHub Copilot. We'll see all of them in action now. So first, I'm going to use the ghost text to write a function that reverses a string here. So all you need to do is when you type in a comment there, it's going to, GitHub Copilot is going to understand what exactly you're asking and provide you with the option. All you need to do is hit the tab to accept the session. That's the easiest way. I know we tell that as a ghost text, but it's essentially a comment or a grayed out text for all the engineers and developers who are using it. Next, you can also do inline chat with the GitHub Copilot. All you need to do is press Control I to get that. And once you do that, again, you get a session, and then you need to accept the response provided by GitHub Copilot. So in this case, we wrote a function that slugifies the string. Pretty easy, right? In a few seconds, we wrote a couple of functions very easily. So to recap, we saw how to install extensions in Visual Studio Code, how to use a chat window, and how to ask questions inline using Control I. If you're using Mac, you should be using Command I, and then use ghost text on the fly. Very, very easy to use it. So let's see how we can learn with GitHub Copilot, right? So in this demo, we should be able to explore language or frameworks that you might be unfamiliar or don't know anything about it. So let's see. I want to take an example of Rust language, right? Rust is a language that I really don't know anything about it. Let's see what we can ask. So here we are going to ask chat providers here at GitHub or at Terminal at VS Code. Essentially, these chat participants provide you specific information related to particular topic. In this case, we want to ask a GitHub chat participant. Okay, let's see what we can ask. So I'm going to ask at VS Code, what are the best options for using Rust, right? Best extension that I can use for Rust. So as you can see, it's giving us a lot more information there. And you can read the information provided by it. You can also ask, assuming that you are a non-English speaker, or if English is not a main language, you can ask, hey, explain this to me in Spanish or French or Portuguese. So it does that language conversation and tells you everything that you need to know in a different language other than English. So now I want to know what extension does a Rust uses, right? Rust is an extension that uses .rs. So let me go and create a file called main.rs. And here I'm going to use the, Control I and create a class or a module to reverse a string. So all I did was use Control I and typed in my prompt, and there you go. I wrote my first function in Rust using GitHub Copilot. So let's see what else we can do here. I'm going to use ghost text to slugify a string, just like earlier. So again, just use a tab to accept the response. There you go. We already learned Rust language in a few minutes, right? You are, again, very, very intuitive and very easy to use. So to recap, um, what we did in this demo is we learned how to uh, learn a new language or a coding through GitHub Copilot. We also used chat participants like Visual Studio at VS Code to ask questions. And then we also used Ghost Tech to generate some code examples here. So let's see what else we can do. This is super cool. We are going to brainstorm with Copilot, just like you do with your senior programmers or architects or engineers. Imagine you are starting a project, you have some requirements, and you really want to create a project structure. Most companies, what they do is they create a template and force developers to use it. Sometimes maintaining and managing the template is a lot of work. So here, let's see how GitHub Copilot can help us out. So we have a couple of files here. One is contoso underscore music.sql and readme.md, basically readme file, right? Readme file has some requirements here. So it says, hey, there's a contoso music inventory app, and we want to browse all artists 50 to a page and all albums 50 to a page, like basically some requirements to create an application, including having a fuzzy search. So let's see how GitHub Copilot can help us out here. So again, we are using a chat, uh, option here. So when you use chat option here, you also have an option to use variables. In this case, variables could be a file or an editor or a selection of code in an opened file or the last command that you might have used in the terminal window, anything, right? So in this case, I'm going to use a hash file because you already saw the README file that I opened. So I'm going to use that as a variable. So it's going to show me all the files, and I'm going to select the uh, readme file as a variable and ask the GitHub Copilot to go over the architecture choices I have for this. So there you go. It's providing, it read my requirements and providing all the choices that I have, and it even provided a file structure I should be creating for this project or for these requirements. Very, very cool. So in this case, we can also ask questions or ask it to modify a few more things. Here, in this case, I don't like to have a controller. Let's see what it does. So I'm going to ask Copilot remove controllers, and there you go. So now I should get a structure without controller. Very easy, right? So hopefully you should be able to do similar things using GitHub Copilot however you want. So what we did now is created a structure, and next we want to uh, see if we can using the file command and the SQL file that we showed earlier to see if we can build the models. Okay, so what I'm doing is now uh, entered a command to build the models, right? Look at that. It read all the schema and other information that the SQL file had, and now building the model for me. Uh, Again, all of this would have taken sometimes days or weeks to do this, but now with the GitHub Copilot, we are doing it in maybe few minutes here, if not seconds. Very, very easy to do. So to recap, what we did was we used GitHub Copilot to think about application setup, uh, how the structure and even understand the architecture, all of that. Then we used a file variable for README uh, to understand the specifications and give it to good GitHub Copilot to generate some specifications. And then we also used SQL file to generate the ORM models. Uh, very, very intuitive. So let's see next, we want to refactor and how we can create some documentation, because that's one of the jobs that developers, as a developer, we need to do. So there you go. Here I have a file without any comments, and let's see. First, refactor this file. I'm going to ask, hey, turn this into a module, right? Uh, so GitHub Copilot is generating the response. Again, as you can see, very easily turned the list of functions that was in this file into a module. Very easy. So now let's see if we can add some comments. So now I'm going to ask, so /doc commands, I want to pause here and explain what it is. These are a boxed prompts. When I say /doc, we're asking GitHub Copilot to add documentation or a comment, to the file. Explain means, okay, there may be there's some complex code within this file and you don't understand what it's doing. You can ask the Copilot to /explain, then that's it. You don't need to write and all these words that are there here. And also you can fix a bug, right? You can highlight something and say /fix, it does that. And the same way, generating unit test is super easy. All you need to do is /tests, and it generates the unit tests. We'll see the demo of that very soon. So let me go and create some comments here. So I'll add /doc, and that's it. It's going to generate documentation for me. As you can see, we added all the comments and I accepted, and now every method here has some comments. But I'm not happy with this. So I'm going to ask it to make it a little bit more, what I can say is detailed, right? So be extremely detailed and add some emojis. Why not, right? So let's have some fun here. So now, right, Matt, why not, right? Adding emojis is super fun in the
I don't
comments.
have enough emojis in my code. I realize that's
Oh yeah,
yeah.
you're so right. So look at all the interesting emojis that came up there. So very cool, huh? So again, see what we are seeing here is a few things. You can do a lot more. Uh, Developers are really intelligent and they can be very creative. If they get a tool like this, you can imagine the power they get, right? Uh, Matt, do you have any other cool example? Think about it, and maybe we'll implement it in our next demo.
Yeah, I'll have to think about it. This was great. I thought in particular,
Mhm,
how to brainstorm with Copilot. I think that will be really important for this group.
mhm.
The you didn't go into the /explain command, but that's one that I really like, where you
Yep.
kind of highlight some code and ask it to explain. Um, this
And what I
is
did,
super helpful. Yeah.
yeah. Now, what I did while you're talking is generated the unit test, right?
Ah,
You took few seconds, and by the time you finish your comments, I generated unit tests for all my functions that was there. Very easy, and it also created a separate file. It didn't do it in the same file. When I said /tests, it created a unit test index.test.js.
yeah.
How cool is it, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
I remember when we first got our hands on GitHub Copilot, the very first thing we all started talking about was, well, let's use this for unit testing. Unit testing's no one likes to do it. No one's really good at it. Um, let's have this do it. So this is unit tests are best with GitHub Copilot, I say.
Yeah, and also I'll show you one more thing. So right now it wrote console.log, right?
Mhm.
Not everybody likes to have console.log. What we can do is now I'm going to ask, hey, generate unit test, use Matcha, right? So now it's going to regenerate all the unit tests using Matcha, right? So again, super easy. If you are following certain framework within your organization, just ask GitHub Copilot to do it, and it will follow that.
Yeah. And I guess if you're going into a hackathon, you've got a condensed time frame. These folks are going to have a full 2 weeks, which is sort of long for hackathon, but life gets busy and no one has enough time. So this will be a great tool for them. So
Absolutely. Not
yeah,
only that, not only that, they can do more, right? Usually what comes out of hackathon is like, half-baked ideas that are implemented. Then they need to work on fine-tuning it and refining it and making it better. Of course, they can do it, but with the help of tool like this, they can actually develop a fully functional application, fine-tuned, well-documented, well-presented, all of that. So let's see what else we can do. So to recap, what we did is we refactored inline using control I, slash commands, or we used slash commands, which basically encapsulated prompts. And then we also used slash doc to add documentation and slash test to add unit tests. So let's see what else we can do. Now we want to create a change log. Imagine in a hackathon, teams or multiple team members are adding a lot of changes. You want to show what everybody did. Let's see how easily we can do it here. So now I'm going to use a command window. Uh, I don't know how to use Git. To be frank with you, I know it, but assuming that I don't know, I'm going to ask command window, hey, how can I extract commit messages from a Git file? So it's going to give me a command, and you can just click run. So once you are happy, verify with the command that it provided. So hit run, and it'll generate a file. So now we have a file, right? Say, assuming that we stored all of the text, output from commit.txt. Now we are going to ask to create, use this file, commit.txt, and create a change log for me. So let's see what it does. So there you go. Can you see this? All the commits done by various developers. Now I got a formatted change log here. What I don't like here is the bump and depend about commands here. So I can remove that with just one text, one line of prompt here. So now I have a clean, um, change log. And as you can see, there is somebody has written fixed a really stupid error that shows the frustration that some of our developers have. Have you seen this type of errors, Matt?
Oh yeah, I've seen things like that. I've worked on some contentious teams. Yeah.
Yeah. So
People care about their work, people want it to be right.
no, it really shows up here, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a senior developer or someone really.
Yeah.
How can this be that? Again, yeah. Anyway, whatever it is, we'll try to fix that in a very automated way. Let me ask Copilot to see. Hey, um, you know, make all comments or commits grammatically correct and remove any offensive words and be as detailed as possible. Now let's see what it does. There you go. So add emojis. Like you said, you like emojis, right? Now look
Yeah.
at that. It's getting better and better now.
No, that's a change log. Yeah.
Yeah, and use Markdown so that we can
Mhm.
publish it to some web page or something like that. And look at that, fixed a significant error in the code. It's not a stupid bug anymore.
That is so
So
impressive. This is you've gone way deeper already with Copilot than I've been able to go. This is
yeah,
good.
no, very very cool, right? This shows everything that we can do, and now we'll also see a file. We have a changelog file now, very clean, and uh, it's good to go now. Actually,
Yeah.
imagine that this type of comments that our QA department getting from engineering whenever they have a release, it's awesome. Um, so let's see what we did now. We used Copilot to find out uh, some terminal commands, assuming that we didn't know. It's super easy. We revised and edited and reformatted all the text, and we also added some details and fixed grammar and added emojis, which is really cool. Uh, so I have some references here, Matt. Uh,
Okay.
Sorry about that.
I'll get those pasted into the chat in a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've got your
yeah. These are
yeah,
some of the references that
yeah,
is really cool to have. You know, you can start with GitHub Copilot link 1 and link 2. You can go up to 9. I think I may have 10, 11, 12 also, but you get the idea.
yeah.
This is how easy it can be, right? Using Copilot for all your this. If you think about it, Matt, what I showed you just now is the day in a life for the developer, right? Uh, do you agree with that?
Yeah, it's a good day for a developer.
Yeah, it's a good day. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
no meetings. Yeah,
No meetings, assuming that there are no meetings. But now they can be more productive, right? You know, in 4 hours, assuming that they code only for 4 hours, right? And 4 hours for
yeah,
the meeting. But in 4 hours, they can show the productivity of 8 hours.
yeah.
That's as good as that. So Uh, there are a lot of other cool things that we can do. Uh, you know, we can write SQL store procedures. We can write Terraform templates or ARM templates. We can convert, PowerShell into CLI or CLI into PowerShell. Then I know many of my customers come back to me and said, "Hey, we have some complex business logic in store procedures. Can we convert that into C sharp?" Yes, you can do that with GitHub Copilot. And they also asked me, can GitHub Copilot um, convert the entire project from C++ to C sharp or whatever it is, right? We are on our way. We have some preview features that are coming up to make it easy for those type of conversions. Right now, you're doing one file at a time, maybe one function at a time. But if we can do one file at a time, we can do multiple files at a time very easily. It's just a matter of time. We are doing some thorough testing. Hopefully, when this comes out of preview, our developers will have a lot more productivity, not waiting for someone else to convert the legacy thing to latest and greatest. It's going to be super interesting.
Yeah. Srini, I know you're pretty much out of time, so thanks a ton for joining us today. I know you're also really busy. This was super helpful to everybody, and I'll let you go ahead and drop, and I'll stay here because I've got some more stuff to talk about with this group.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much.